Hey everyone, thank you guys for coming to the presentation today. I know that it's a busy time of year with finals around the corner, and some of you are approaching playoffs, which hopefully we pick up some good W's in. So tonight, what we're going to talk about is how to wear out the competition, not yourself. We're going to go over some nutrition tips and tricks to help boost your immune system and hopefully your game. So it's a 2-for-1 tonight. So you guys know me pretty well. My name is Coach Kelly. I am your coordinator of strength and conditioning here at UNE. Most of you know as well that I graduated in 2011 from our Applied Exercise Science program. But some of you may not know that I am a candidate for the Masters in Applied Nutrition program through UNE. And that's why I'm here with you guys tonight, actually. So I had to design this seminar as part of my coursework, and I'm really excited to share with you the research that I've found and the strategies of how we can help you guys stay healthy. I've been the coordinator of strength and conditioning since 2014 here at UNE. I'm also a laboratory instructor, and I work in the Department of Exercise and Sport Performance and with the Applied Exercise Science group. I've assisted women's basketball for a while as well. I played women's basketball while I was at UNE, so you guys know that I'm a Nor'easter for life. One of the coolest things I get to do is also work with the National Strength and Conditioning Association. I'm the main state director of that group, and what that means is that I get to work with exercise and fitness professionals from all across the country, but especially here in Maine, and help really grow the field of exercise and health and fitness and strength and conditioning here in our home state. So that's really special to me as a native Mainer. Before I came to UNE, I worked at the Orthopedic Associates Performance Center in Saco for almost 3 years. And while I was there, I really learned how to work with everyone. I worked with youth athletes as young as 5, all the way up to athletes who were in their 90s, no joke. So I really got to learn how to work with a wide array of individuals and people, and how to apply nutritional strategies, training strategies, and all kinds of good things to help people get where they need to go. So as you guys know, I've settled here and at UNE because working with collegiate athletes is my passion. Having been through numerous injuries, 6 knee surgeries, just been through it myself as an athlete, I want to make sure that that never happens to you guys. And fueling yourself properly is a huge piece of that. So hopefully after today, you'll have another little thing you can add to your tool bucket that I always talk about carrying, right? You want to make sure you have plenty of tools available to you to use at any time. So what's on our radar tonight? You guys know that we're Nor'easters and we are a big old giant storm. So we're going to treat this presentation in that light. We're going to talk about what's called exercise-induced immunosuppression, big fancy $5 word, and how it affects student athletes. We're going to talk about the immune system and why it matters for student athletes. We're going to talk about why student athletes are so at risk for getting sick. We're going to talk about nutritional habits, exercise intensity, and behavioral choices, and how they all play a role in student athlete immune system health. And we're going to talk about strategies that we can employ to stay healthy as well moving forward. So throughout this presentation, you guys will notice that I have plugged and played a lot of little puns and analogies about being an athlete. You guys know I like to incorporate a lot of that into the way that I design your strength programming. And I think it will help you guys relate a little bit better. So right now we're going to talk about our athlete immunity playbook. All of your coaches give you guys a playbook that has every single call and set in it that you're going to run during the year. So we're going to talk about the playbook for today. After attending and participating in this seminar, I hope that you guys will be able to recognize foods that contain immune system boosting nutrients in the dining halls. And when you're out and about, I want you to be able to distinguish and estimate your personal nutritional needs, so macro and micronutrients that you need in order to boost your immune system health. I want you to be able to appreciate the role of proper nutrition practices, be able to prepare a meal or a snack, and then understand how planning plays into that and into avoiding illness and mistraining opportunities. I want you to be able to manipulate the food environment that you're in currently, whatever that might be. If you're at a restaurant, if you're in the dining hall, if you're on the road traveling with your team, if you're at home with your family, at a family barbecue, I want you to learn how you can best meet your nutritional needs in any setting. And then finally, I want you to be able to make mindful adjustments to your personal hygiene habits. And that's not just hygiene, but also your sleep habits and just daily things that you do that can positively impact your immune system health. So, Coach K, back up a second. What did you say? Exercise-induced immunosuppression. So, this is kind of a funny little slide here, but basically, what we're going to talk about is how when you exercise, you end up making yourself more susceptible to getting sick. And we'll talk a little bit about the science behind that. But it doesn't have to be that way. Your immune system can and will dip a little bit after a hard workout, but if you're eating well and you have good recovery habits in play and good hygiene habits in play, you shouldn't have to worry too much. But if you've seen the Wonder Woman movie, you know that her bracelets are impenetrable. Nothing can get through them. She can deflect anything with them. So that's what your immune system has to be like. It has to be able to deflect all threats coming at you. And then obviously suppression. We don't want you to get sick, right? So when you put it all together, we want you guys to be able to work hard, play hard, compete at a high level, but not get sick. So I want you to think about your immune system like building a defensive strategy. I think that's something you guys can all relate to. Everybody here plays defense, even if we like to score a little bit more so like me. But I want you to think like that game day defensive strategy. There's a lot more than just X's and O's and preparing to play. And you guys know that well. You know that your coaches have you guys involved in film breakdown, scouting reports, and then game day execution. So we'll see if we can liken our immune system to that to kind of help you guys understand what your immune system does on a daily basis. So with film sessions, you guys watch film to kind of learn about opponents' strengths and weaknesses, right? Your body has that system in place, your immune system, to help scan the playing field for detecting threats, and then reviewing what we can do next time to do better. Your body remembers, your immune system remembers old threats, and how it dealt with it before, and it can kind of learn and adapt, which is kind of neat. The scouting report, right? So I have here some statistics from the women's basketball team this year. But basically, you need to determine the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent's offense, and then we write a scout about how to best defend and then attack them so that we can win the game. Your immune system both reads and creates scouts about each new invader. They're called pathogens, and then figures out, like I mentioned before, ways that we can remember old ones. So when we write new scouting reports, we look back at what we did previously that worked, and then we try to keep the things that helped us and get rid of the things that didn't, and our immune system's really good at doing that. And then game day execution. We're a tight-knit unit. Every team here is a tight-knit unit, and we all work to protect what we're after, our interests in winning that game, right, and protect each other. But your immune system really is just a giant protector from infection and illness. And, like any well-executed defense or offense, it prevents the opponent from scoring and hopefully allows us to score and do well. So hopefully that helps you guys understand what your immune system is like. It just really is about having a great strategy going into game day. It's really much the same. I thought this was pretty funny here. This is our offensive line this year in our very first football game ever here at the University of New England. The offensive line's job is to protect the quarterback so he can make a good play. And your immune system's made up of a team of role players. It's just like our offensive line. We have specialized cells like white blood cells, phagocytes, T and B cells, among many others as well. Specialized organs, your lungs, your intestines, your spleen, your lymph nodes, and blood vessels are all involved in your immune system. You also have barriers, so your skin, big giant barrier. It's the number one thing that protects us from the outside world. Mucous membrane, so not the most fun to think about, but the inside of your mouth and your nose and your eyes, nasal hair as well. And then bone marrow. Your bone marrow is really important in your immune system. It helps to create and store specialized cells to send out to protect your body. I think this guy from Curry here, he got labeled a pathogen. I hope he made it out of this, but looks like our offensive line hopefully did a good job protecting the QB on this play. And any good goalie knows that earning a shutout is a pretty rare occurrence. So we see Em Ashman here. She's defending the goal. She's punched a ball out. I want you to think, again, like your immune system is that defensive entity. It helps protect the goal, right? But when you're an athlete, it's tough for your immune system to take care of you. Think about it, guys. Just everybody take a second. Have you ever gone an entire season without getting sick even once? if not multiple times. And so many of you come into the weight room on a daily basis with colds or sore throats or just feeling lethargic and tired, or the flu or whatever it might be. So we definitely know that you guys aren't really getting through the season without getting sick. So if you're getting sick, you're missing playing time, you're not able to perform at the highest level, you're not able to do what you need to do in the classroom, which we all value here at UNE. So I really want you guys to take all of the things we talk about today to heart so we can kind of keep working on keeping you guys working towards getting shutouts all the time. I want you to shut out all of the bad stuff and keep in the good stuff. So here we have an example of how our goalie's acting like a barrier against bacteria. We've got white blood cells flooding in to help kind of take care of it. Again, I'm trying to give you guys fun analogies to understand how the immune system works. Now, gambling on defense, right? I don't know how many of you like to gamble on defense. I did. But trying to go for the steal doesn't always pay off. And what I mean by that is neither does working hard without good preparation and recovery habits. You could work hard all day long, but if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not eating well, it really does up your risk of getting sick. So some reasons why you guys get so sick so often. Repeated intense training sessions definitely lend themselves to making you guys sick. It impairs your immune system. We'll talk about that in a few moments. You have an increased exposure to bacteria, just naturally. You're around a lot of people, the same people all the time, and you're also into different locations and environments. Again, we'll touch on that later. You have sometimes poor nutritional habits and knowledge. We're working on that. That's why we're here today, is to get better. You guys know that my overall philosophy is leave it better. So we're going to work on getting better habits and a stronger knowledge of nutrition. A lot of times, just by proxy of being a student and a student athlete, you don't get a whole lot of sleep or properly recover. You guys are traveling for games, getting home at midnight, 1 a.m., maybe still doing homework, going to sleep, trying to get up and do it all over again, and your body doesn't really appreciate that. You have increased levels of stress. I don't have to preach about that. We all know that that's the case for you guys. And then sometimes we just work on better hygiene practices, which you all shower, I know that, but we need to be able to really think about washing our hands and taking care of all of our equipment and that kind of stuff that does keep us healthy. So we want to be able to kind of, work hard, get that risk, but sometimes the risk doesn't always equal reward. We want to make sure that we're being rewarded for our hard work, and that we're putting in the right things to keep ourselves healthy. So working hard or hardly working. What you see right here is called the J curve, or the just right curve. If you guys remember the tale of Goldilocks, right? There was porridge that was too hot, porridge that was too cold, and porridge that was just right. And the same thing with the chairs and the beds, right? Well, our immune system is very, very similar. Not enough exercise in your life can kind of leave you with an average risk of getting sick, meaning that you might get sick, you might not, but you're kind of more at risk than most if you don't do anything. If you exercise too much, then you end up with a high risk of getting sick. And that was what I was talking about earlier, where you're exercising at a really high intensity frequently and your body can't keep up. Your immune system doesn't do a good job of blocking out all of those pathogens, and the defensive strategy isn't in play. And then you have that just right amount of exercise, and that leads to a low risk of getting sick. And everybody's J curve is slightly different, and it takes some tinkering and you kind of getting used to figure out where you kind of fall on the J curve. But we do know that with research that it's been proven that if you don't exercise enough, not great. Exercise too much, not great. But if you can find that just right amount, that's where we need to be. And it's really important for me as your strength coach to communicate that with your coaches and the athletic training staff and you guys. We all need to be on the same page to try to keep you guys healthy moving forward. So this slide right here is about what we call the open window or the open door situation with our immune system. Less than, stellar nutritional habits don't only tank your performance, they also keep a window open for getting sick. And your immune system's function can dip for 24 to 72 hours following a hard or intense workout. So we want to make sure that we can shut that window versus all those pathogens and those bacteria and all those things that are going to make you sick. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our body, and doing everything we can to make sure that we're not just that open window, right? We got to shut those pains against hopefully being in pain and being sick.